Good afternoon, students. Welcome to week 3. So this week we're doing the forums, week 3 forum, in which you're doing food posts, and you describe a food, and then everyone has to guess what food it is. So last week I went over how to do the food post. So here's an example of a initial food post due by Wednesday of this week. So for example, I think I went over this last week. So you would say something like, for your week 3 food post, I am long, I am made of beef, people put sauerkraut on me, one of my brand names is Nathan's. What am I? And so that would be your initial post. And so far everyone's been enjoying the food game, and some people have even had the students correctly guess their food post. Next week, we're still going to be doing food posts. The difference between week 3 and week 4 food posts is that in week 4, you're going to make your food posts longer. You're going to rewrite the food post with more food adjectives. You're going to add in sensory details to make your initial food post longer. And so you should write at least one paragraph. That is at least 5 to 7 sentences. And if you already wrote 5 to 7 sentences, then you can make it longer and make it 15 sentences. And I'm going to be introducing ChatGPT this week. So you can use ChatGPT to make your narrative posts longer. And so you can prompt into ChatGPT, give me more food adjectives, use sensory details that appeal to all 5 senses, and then write metaphors and examples so that students can better guess the food post. Then you can post that ChatGPT written narrative into your week 4 forum. So this week we're going to be learning the ethical way to use AI. And so for instance, right now we're learning about the writing process. So there are 3 stages to the writing process. Pre-writing, in which you write your outline, and then writing, in which you transform that outline into a 5-paragraph rough draft, and then rewriting, where you incorporate teacher feedback, student feedback into your final draft, and you hand in your final draft. Each time you rewrite your essay gets better and better. So you can use ChatGPT for your pre-writing to write the outline. You can use ChatGPT for rewriting when you grade the essay for essay revision. So we're going to learn how to use ChatGPT for essay revision and peer review for the week 5 forum. But for now, we're just going to introduce ourselves to what is ChatGPT? How does it work? How can I ethically use ChatGPT? So I already said that you can use ChatGPT for pre-writing, idea generation, and for rewriting, revision. So for stage 1 and stage 3 of the writing process, you can use AI. However, you cannot use AI to write your essay for you. You still have to write your own essay, because if you let ChatGPT write your essay for you, number 1, your essay is cheating, and then number 2, then your essay sounds like a robot. It sounds very robotic. And ChatGPT doesn't know you. It doesn't know your personal experiences. Therefore, ChatGPT will write a very robotic essay that's very boring and dry. So therefore, you still have to write your essay yourself. And another reason why you have to write your papers yourself is that AI has a tendency to hallucinate and make up sources. And so people have been sued for using AI for their research. So you still have to find your sources, your peer-reviewed sources, from the online college library or from Google Scholar. And so that is the 2 reasons why you need to write your own essay and do your own research. So that's how you use ChatGPT ethically. Number 2, so we're done with the forums, are the exams. So in this class, you're going to have a week 1 quiz, a week 3 quiz, a week 5 quiz, a midterm, and a final. And so I put all of your test guides into the very first welcome letter that I sent to all of you. So you can use those test guides in order to study for your tests when you read all of the chapters. So you can listen to me. You can listen to me read your chapters of your textbook if you go to Professor H Writing Channel, and then you put into the search box Chapter 1, Section 1, and then on YouTube a video will appear of me reading that chapter. So if you in addition to reading the textbook, you can also listen to me reading it. You still need to read the textbook, so don't just only listen to me reading it. You have to read the textbook, take notes, put it in index cards. Let's see, I have index cards. Let me get index cards. Take notes on index cards of all the different definitions and all of the different words. And then when you're sitting at home or you're waiting on the bus, for example, or you're waiting in the doctor's office, you can go through your index cards of definitions to help you study for the test. And this goes for not just my exams, but also the exams you have in your psychology classes, your biology classes, any other classes. I know it seems time-consuming to do it, but it's so worth it to write all the definitions on an index card. And then you can shuffle the index cards and study them during the times in which you're waiting for the doctor, you're sitting and commuting, that sort of thing. That is a great study skill for you to have. When I was learning Chinese and I had to learn 500 characters, I used these index cards to memorize all my Chinese characters, and so it works. Now, for your essays, you're going to be writing a narrative essay in which you're going to write a story with a moral. And so a lot of people confuse a narrative essay with a narrative story. In a story, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And so let's take, for example, Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood, at the very beginning of the story, she walks through a forest so that she can deliver food to her grandmother. Then by the middle of the story, which is usually the most exciting part, climax, a wolf comes along and eats the grandmother and tries to threaten a Little Red Riding Hood. And then by the end of the story, a carpenter comes along, kills the wolf, and saves Little Red Riding Hood's life. Okay, so that's the typical story structure of a story. And then if I were to ask you, what life lessons did you learn from listening to Little Red Riding Hood? You would go blank. You would go, I didn't learn any life lessons. So when you tell a story, it's mainly for entertainment, all right? But when we write a narrative, so when we tell a narrative story, it's usually for entertainment. But whenever we write an essay, we make one claim or one main idea, and we write a story with one main idea that has a life lesson that the reader can learn. So when we write any kind of essay, we stick to one main idea, we make a claim in our thesis statement, and then we use our body paragraphs to back up that claim. So that is the purpose of an essay, is to teach the reader something, so that when they walk away from reading your essay, they've learned something. They either learned about the dangers of smoking, or how unnecessary it is to have gun control, or how necessary it is to have gun control, or how a certain president is the best president or the worst president of the United States. So when we write an essay, we are teaching the reader, and by the time the reader gets to the conclusion, the reader walks away with some kind of takeaway lesson. So when we write an essay, we have three parts. We have the introduction, which has three parts. It has a hook, 5 background sentences, and then your thesis statement. Your thesis statement is the main idea of your essay, and it is always the last sentence of the introduction. So your thesis is always the last sentence of the introduction and the first sentence of the conclusion. So when you write your narrative essay, you can write, if you can't think of any kind of topic, you can write about, I want to become a nurse because I want to heal people, I want a job with benefits, and I want to become a nurse to be a role model for my kids. So that's your thesis statement. Then your three body paragraphs would then be the same. Your three body paragraphs would be, I want to become a nurse to heal people. I want to be a nurse to have a job with benefits. And then I want to have a job so I can be a role model for my kids. So those would be paragraph 2, 3, and 4. And each paragraph has 5 to 7 sentences. And then paragraph 5 would be a conclusion in which you, in the first sentence, you repeat the thesis at the first sentence of the last paragraph. And then you summarize the entire essay in your conclusion. So you have 3 parts to your essay: introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. And that's the end of your essay. So in week 2, you're going to write an outline of your essay. Week 4, you're going to write a rough draft. And week 6, you're going to hand in the final draft. So that's the trajectory of your essay 1. And your next essay is going to be a persuasive essay, which you're going to, your next essay is a comparison-contrast essay, which you're going to begin in week 7. In any case, getting back to, and then the last thing I'm going to talk about, especially for those of you who are taking psychology class or biology class, you need to learn about APA. And so APA stands for American Psychological Association. When you use APA, it means that whenever you cite a medical fact, numerical fact, scientific fact, historical fact, legal fact, you have to cite the source. So there are 2 kinds of citations. You have a direct quote where you verbatim cite the source. Usually we do this with numbers. For instance, 80% of Americans are fat or are obese. So therefore, then you would put that in parentheses, put that in quotation marks. And then in parentheses, you would write the author's name, Smith, the date, and the page number. That's a direct quote. Then a paraphrase quote is when you put the source in your own words. So you would say the majority of Americans are overweight. Then you don't need quotation marks, and you just put in Smith and the date. And then after the last page of your paper, you need to write a reference citation in which you need left hanging indent. So you go to YouTube to find out how to do a left hanging indent, which is only for your reference page. The rest of the paper is double spaced Times New Roman size 12. So for your reference citation, you would write the author's name, the date, the article name, publication name, and then the date you retrieved the website, and then the web address. And if you want to see what an APA paper looks like, Google Diana Hacker sample APA paper. And if you want to buy your own APA manual, you go to www.apa.org to buy your own APA 7th edition manual. So if you have any questions, and you can also go to Professor H Writing channel, and you can you can go to the Professor H Writing channel, and then you can put in APA to watch any of my APA videos to learn how to do APA. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me at any time. And if you like this video, feel free to subscribe to the Professor H Writing channel. So if you have any questions about your week 3 assignments, or your week 4 assignments, you know where to contact me. So have a great week, and I hope that this video helped you understand your week 3 and your week 4 assignments at Fortress College. So that's it for this video, and have a great day.